Okay, I think it's on.
We're on. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Barry. Early Shabbat Shalom. 4 o'clock, usual time. We might be a few seconds late here or there. And I don't know, does it always feel like that for you all? Is Friday the fastest day of the week?
It was about 12:30, and then it becomes 3:59.
Yeah. I mean, we look up, hey, Mindy, and
Amen.
we're always so excited to do this, and it always feels so far away. Hi, Larissa. And we always feel like, oh, we have just all the time in the world. And, so I think I say this a lot. I'll say, well, we're a little behind today, and we're a little behind today. But we hope that you were ready to come together with thoughts of the sun setting and with thoughts of putting on hold all that we're creating. So I'll give you a creating thing. We got this thing that was delivered from that catalog company, Front Gate. Hey, Faye, and it's that's my friend Faye Spiegel, and it's you put towels on it and they all dry and stuff like that. And so you know what? We'll come to it Saturday night, or we'll come to it even better yet on Sunday morning. It's just time to begin to look at everything around us and say, okay, it's time for a real pause, right?
It sure does because it's Friday afternoon. It just, let me say it a different way. I get so ready for Shabbat comes Thursday because it just means so much. It's a day that we actually can not worry about work, and not worry about the phone, not worry about an email, not worry about stuff. We can just focus
Stuff.
on what matters to us, and
Yeah.
which is a lot of good things happen to us on Shabbat.
Yeah. Sometimes you kind of come to it. I don't know if you all feel this way, kind of almost kicking and screaming. Hi, Ivy. I'm what they've been thinking about you and your week back to teaching, back to school. Big, humongous week in Texas. Humongous week for all of us, whether you're a teacher, a student, a grandparent. We're watching our precious, precious kids and our precious, precious educators go back and try to figure the ins and outs of how we all stay safe together. But all right. In other news, I don't know if you can see these or not, but at one time I told you I was going to work on
Wait,
these.
you said you were going to work on some candles with some what shells and things?
Yeah. So this is them. Here's one of them. So
Whoa,
this is one of them. Lolly. So this is one of them. These are my
beautiful. What is this guy?
shell art. Which guy?
This guy right here.
Little starfish guy.
Oh,
And here's the other one. I'll show you real quick. So I've been working really hard on my shell art. I just talk about divine creation, and I teach mindfulness all the time. And so, one of the important tenets of mindfulness is being curious and also, remaining in that state of wonderment. Like when you were a kid, my friend Deb Willens is on too. And so, looking at this, can you imagine? Can you imagine all of the variety in life? All right, I'm stalling and I'll tell you why I'm stalling.
it must
I
have been tough finding all these shells.
A lot of them we found on the beach, as you know, but I never hesitate to buy shells that I can't get my hands on. So you know why I'm stalling.
Why in the world would you be stalling? Because
So,
it's just Shabbat, and it's a day of rest, and it's a day to take things easy and forget about your troubles. So why are you stalling,
well,
Debbie?
I saw my friend Deb, and she and I were just on the phone together, and we were visiting about this very thing. So, as Shabbat rolls around, I have all this stuff here. So, to remind you, we've got our wine glass out, and we've got our wine, and you'll be seeing the challah in just a little bit. And I've got my prayer books ready because we love to do our streaming services. And here's my matches.
Stalling.
Stalling. So you know what a really important part of Shabbat is intimacy and being close with your partner, and not close the way you are on a Tuesday. And someone's gotta, let's go pre-COVID, somebody's gotta catch a flight to Florida to show a line of uniforms. And someone else has 3 classes all over the Metroplex. that doesn't necessarily promote. It promotes a lot of creation and a lot of good things, but it doesn't necessarily promote the same thing that Shabbat promotes. Hi, Catherine. And what Shabbat promotes is you and your partner being together and putting away the to-do list and the other functions of creating the functions of the week. And so, I usually need my glasses. So when I was a young woman, Rabbi Samuel Stahl, the senior rabbi of Congregation Temple Bethel in San Antonio, gave me a book, and it was his typical gift to brides. And the name of the book, and I still have it, and it's in good condition, and I just love it. And the book is called Sex, God, and the Sabbath, and it's by Rabbi Alan Singer Green, who for a time, he's deceased now, may his memory be for a blessing. For a time, he was the senior rabbi at Temple Emmanuel in Houston. So if the name kind of sounds familiar to you Texans, that's why. And it was a pretty thin book, but it was really poignant. And, you know, in a time when I guess, 35, 40 something years ago or whatever, people maybe, hi Leah, didn't want to talk out loud about, hey, this is a mitzvah on Shabbat. This is a time to come together with your partner, with your spouse, to show deep affection and to show love and to do all of those things. You could get, Lolly says, very smiling. You could get this wonderful book, and Rabbi Green would thoughtfully take you through this process. And it's a very lovely process, but what does it come from? So I thought, let's look at a pinch of it today. And if you need to blush, blush away, because as important as the challah, and as important as our prayer books, and as important as lighting those candles and writing that check to the food bank before we get started, or whatever tzedakah is on your mind and whatever tzedakah you're taking part in, intimacy with your partner is just as important, right? Okay. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. A person should leave their parents and cleave to their partner and be like one flesh. I think it speaks for itself, but it is hard to do that when one person's getting on a plane and one person, I just use us, is off to teach a yoga class, and here you are, and yes, are we together in mind and intention and all of those things? Yes. But I have to tell you, after services tonight online, and saying prayers out loud and together, and knowing that the world has stopped and we have nowhere to rush off to, cleaving to your partner and being like one flesh is easier to accomplish. And in fact, Shabbat, in its most organic and sacred and certainly divine way, promotes just that. Okay, one more verse. Genesis chapter 1. And it's not an accident that this stuff is in the very beginning in Genesis. It's like right out of the chute. This is the stuff you need to know. The first words addressed to human beings. Genesis 1, verse 28, chapter 1, verse 28. Be fruitful and increase. And as we come together, we remember the Hebrew word kedushah, holiness. And that is actually the primary purpose of sexuality. All of the gifts that we are given, whether they are enjoying that delectable piece of challah, or, is your mouth watering mindfully, right? When I say that sip of red wine or grape juice, right after the barucha, right? It's the same thing with getting to see your partner all over again for the first time and having the moments to do that and reminding yourself of the sacredness of doing that. And I wrote one note because I wanted to remind me and bring it up to you too. Sometimes the act of creating takes us away from intimacy. We were just looking at that a moment ago. Whatever our jobs are, even what takes us away from intimacy could be, I was just talking with some folks at JFS yesterday and the good, hard, beautiful sacred work that they're doing. But sometimes you come home and you're a little done. And so Shabbat offers us this time of regeneration, and it offers you that gentle reminder, the little tap from God, be fruitful and multiply. And if not, be fruitful and multiply, the reminder of Kedusha, of holiness, of us coming together in a holy way to recognize one another, enjoying the gifts of one another, heart, flesh, all of it. One last thing, I think it's really important that the verse says a person should leave their parents and cleave to their partner and be like one flesh. Is it metaphorical? Absolutely. But is it concrete and physical? Absolutely. It says be like one flesh. It doesn't say turn on a good movie. And I think that's important. And there's been so many Shabbos shows where Barry says, Debbie, let's see the challah, and look at the candlesticks. And the fact of the matter is, one really important piece, one really important mitzvah of Shabbat is definitely sharing it with the person you love. And of course, with our kids and our friends and our community and all of those things. But there is this special little carved out time that's mentioned and that is specific to us being together. One last thing. Be fruitful and multiply is mentioned before even the commandment of Shabbat. Coming together is the first commandment that we actually have. And so I'm have been taking that in all brand new and with wonder again. So I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, where if you are near the person that you love, whomever you love, I hope you have some wonderful Shabbos time with that person tonight.
Thank you, Debbie. That's wonderful.
That's good. Are you blushing?
I'm not blushing. I think I am. It could be the heat. So, wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Genesis.
Good stuff. Separation in Genesis, dark from light. All the separations, and the separations, of course, always teach us what's in the middle and what to move away from and what to go towards, and helps us define things, as you well know.
I think it's important. Mm-hmm. What's really nice is, and then of course we do say the prayers over the challah, and also we have a glass of wine, right? Say a prayer. I can't remember what's the wine we're drinking tonight. Can you tell me? It's a Pinot Noir, I know. Let's see, what is it? I can't remember.
He's making a joke, but it's not funny. No, it's a name of a bottle of wine, and not going to. But I will tell Ellen Glicken Shabbat Shalom, which is so nice to see her. And Myra, I'm so happy to see you too. And my sister-in-law Stacy, and there's Rob. Rob is our very favorite Shabbos show. He's like, yay, the Shabbos show! Very awesome.
So Debbie, it is Shabbos, and it's probably time for another Torah portion. Yep. How about that? So this week's Torah portion is Re'ah. And Re'ah begins with, I will set before you this day a blessing and a curse. Well, it's not like the lights going out last night and we were able to look outside and we're saying, oh my gosh, this is terrible. However, we get to see the Milky Way.
We lost our electricity last night. Yeah. That's what he's talking about.
But in real life, what this is referring to is Moses is telling us, the Israelites again, that there will be a blessing and a curse. A blessing if they fulfill God's commandments, and a curse if they don't. God continues to go on, again, saying, don't believe in any idols. Don't believe don't believe in idol worship, don't believe in the people that are doing the idol worship, you have to destroy them, destroy where they live, and destroy everything that has to do with idols. Because it's so important that there's only one God, and you mentioned commandments. The second commandment, there shall be no other gods before me. it makes it so important. It's even before murder and everything else. So it's a really big deal. But then, what if, just throwing this one out there, what if we said, just go with a few other gods? Like Gelos, the Greek god of merriment, or maybe Komos, the Greek god of revelry. You throw those two together with Cupid, you have a great time. But in all seriousness, what happens is it's a value that we have to take place that there is only one God. I rarely read, but I'm going to share this with you.
Do you want glasses?
Nope, I can actually see better today. Maimonides said with his 13 with the 13 principles of faith, the Creator is the creator and guide for all the created beings. He alone made, makes, and will always make what is created. The Creator is a unity. There's no union in any way like Him. And He alone is our God who was, who is, and who was to be. The Creator is not a body. And He is not affected by physical matter, and He cannot ever be compared to or with. Well, Rabbi David Wolpe even says it more clearer. He suggests idolatry was about giving ourselves too little bitty credit. He quotes Abraham Joshua Heschel, who said that idols are forbidden because they already exist an image of God in this world. It is found in every human being. To create an idol of wood or stone and to call it God is less an insult to God than it is to ourselves. It is an insult to human dignity. The message of the Torah is to make oneself a worthy image of God and not to seek image of God in that which we create. So, why create idols? I don't see why. Instead, we must learn to see each other as individual sparks of the one who created us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, the divine spark.
The divine spark.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yasher Koach.
Thanth you. Speaking of
Yasher
Koach, what about, is there challah amongst us?
All right, here's what happened. And Stephanie's watching, and she never usually watches till John gets home, but she's here right now. Yay! Okay, so I have my bread maker, and I went to do my thing a little bit later because I had stuff going on this morning, and the little bread maker blade was gone, so I had to start all over with no bread maker, just by hand or whatever. So this is all to tell you I'm a little behind. So do we have a long way to go? We got a long way to go. Like, I bet you I've got another probably 45 minutes. Oops, there goes the flour. But we're coming along.
I think it's beautiful.
We're coming along. We're coming along. We had to start all over. And I called Amberly saying, in this recipe, do you think I oughta, and I oughta, and I oughta? And good thing I have a sweet daughter-in-law who's like, you know what? I've made yours before. And here's how it went when I didn't use a bread maker.
It sounds different. Because when we couldn't find the little mover of the little blade, I heard, well, I oughta.
Why I oughta that. Mm-hmm.
Debbie, I think it's beautiful, and it's going to be a great challah.
Okay, I have one more thing before we leave everyone. I have a beautiful prayer, and it's by Rabbi Jill Hammer, and it's very inspirational, I felt like, and there's so much going on in our world. So many ends. I don't know if you feel this way, but so many ends that feel broken, and so much going on. And with our kids and our educators and our politics and our masks and our COVID and all of these things, this one just feels really good. And so before we part, I would love to leave you with Rabbi Jill Hammer's sweet, sweet, sweet prayer. Peace be with you, earth. Peace be with you, moon. Peace be with you, clouds. Peace be with you, trees and plants. Peace be with you, stones. Peace be with you, living things. Peace be with you, human people. Peace be with you, waters of the sea. Peace be with you, Shekhinah. Peace be with you, world.
That's beautiful. Just beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Peace be with you, our friends. So special that we all have been able to come together and celebrate one another and find this very sacred segue to remind us to put down what we're creating and embrace this gift from God, this opportunity to celebrate Shabbat with your lover, with your challah, with your
Wine?
kiddush, with your yahrzeit, whatever's going on in your world. This is a very on-purpose thing that our Creator gifted us so that we can continue in peace and in a productive, happy, and holy way. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Debbie.
Shabbat Shalom, honey.
Thank you.
I'm looking here and I'm just like, I don't want to leave him. There's Brett.
Can I tell a quick joke? No, I'm just joking.
Hi, Esther. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hope to see you next week. And not next week, but the week after that, Rabbi Sunshine is joining us from Congregation Shereth Israel. It's like that sometimes. Congregation Shereth Israel. It's because I saw Deb Willens say, oh, hi, Tommy.
Hi, Tommy from Houston.
Shabbat
Katie.
Shalom, Mindy.
Bye.